Hello, everybody. We are live. First off, happy St. Patrick's Day to everybody. Hopefully, you guys have been watching the Leprechaun films or at the very least enjoying your St. Patrick's Day. How's your St. Patrick's Day been so far, Matt?
It's been very busy. I worked and worked. I also worked out. Have not had my traditional Shamrock Shake, and I haven't found my pot of gold yet. But I'm still here in spirit. So
Well,
yeah.
the night is young. The night is young. And I just want to say for anybody watching, no matter the donation amount, if we do get a donation, this is something me and Matt just did right as we was about ready to go live, we will talk like the Leprechaun. I don't know for how long. I don't know if we can do the entire stream, but we will do our best. And I think that'd be kind of funny.
Tell you what, let's add an extra layer to that. Whoever talks the longest in the voice gets to keep the donation.
Oh, wow. That'd be pretty cool.
Maybe I don't know, just something thrown out there. But I don't know, or I don't know. But it doesn't really matter either way. But
That'd
either
be a
way,
challenge for sure.
yeah. But how was your St. Patrick's Day?
So far it's not been too bad. Like you, I worked. I've been looking forward to this for a long time to be able to rank the Leprechaun films again. I did it a few years ago. Actually, me and Dante Graves, we did a live stream a year or two ago, and unfortunately, we had some audio issues. So I've always wanted to redo this, and I figured, since me and you've been doing the live streams, it's St. Patrick's Day. What other franchise should we rank on this day than the Leprechaun films? And I know that you love this franchise. It's your favorite. You talk about it all the time.
I
And
mean, I was kind of disappointed we weren't going to do wrong turn, but I'm like, well, it is thematically appropriate. Let's go ahead and rank the better one, which is obviously is St. Patrick's Day themed Leprechaun. So yeah,
just a cinematic masterpiece, this franchise. I'll let you talk
I
about it.
I was gonna say do we want to share our stories of how we actually got introduced into this franchise before we actually begin?
Yeah, why not? That sounds
Um,
interesting.
I remember I didn't even know about these movies until I saw my brother watching. Specifically, the first entry he watched was, I think, In the Hood or Back to the Hood, right? It was the intro. It was like one of the sequences, where I think it was during In the Hood, where what's his name, Ice T, his shit is being stolen, and the leprechaun is in there, and he's like rhyming and just causing a whole bunch of chaos. And I'm like, I looked at my brother. I'm like, what the fuck are you watching? And he's like, I don't know. It's just some leprechaun shit. I'm like, that's how I got introduced to this franchise. And then from there on, I've watched every single entry, at least a handful of times since then. And I'm like, it's a very love hate relationship. I'm sure most people will probably agree that Leprechaun is not exactly the most highbrow franchise ever, but it is absurdly entertaining, and I love it. It's only Warwick Davis could pull off such a likable and fun antagonist in the Leprechaun. But yeah,
No,
so
I have to agree on that. Like Warwick Davis, even though, as we'll get to, these films dip in quality, if you even want to say that there's a dip. Warwick Davis is the thing that ties it all together.
mhm.
Um, and we'll get to that later. But my introduction was the one I remember the most. It probably wasn't the first one that I watched, but the second Leprechaun film I felt was always playing on sci-fi, especially on St. Patrick's Day. Would always just love watching those films during this holiday and just whenever they were on. Are they great films? No, but they are so mindlessly entertaining. And Warwick Davis, just like Robert England to me, maybe not to that status, but only Warwick Davis can do what he does in these films and make it entertaining.
Yeah,
There's an
yeah.
exception, which we'll get to, but there is one film in particular that does prove my point in case there, which we'll get to. But yeah, it's one I've watched as a kid a lot. I have nostalgia for the Leprechaun films. I acknowledge that they're not the greatest, but they are fun, and it's St. Patrick's Day, so why not rank these
Yeah.
films live?
It is true though. Without Warwick Davis, these movies would just fall apart pretty easily. And
Yeah,
granted, there is one movie that doesn't well, two movies that don't feature
too.
him. And I think one of them actually works better than the other one, and we'll get to that, of course. But
Hmm.
he's the reason why we come back. In the same way why we watch Halloween or Nightmare on Elm Street. We come back for the antagonist, and Warwick Davis is the of course part of that category. He just works really well as a leprechaun. So yeah. And also, just I love how like most of the kills are themed around the actual holiday itself and just
Yeah,
absurd. But we'll again,
creative
we, we
kills.
we've uh we've talked about it way too much. But like yeah, like so of course we are going to be ranking each of the entries from what we think are the best to the worst, and this might be a bit of an interesting list because I think we'll agree on some, but I see us differing here and there on like certain entries, of course.
Mhm.
But, yeah, well, of course, we have, like, all the 5 different tiers here. We have, this will be linked, I think, in, like, a comment or something like that, but, like, we are using, like, a list that was recommended to us by a tier maker. It's got Pot of Gold for the very best. We've got Lucky Charms. I love that
Lucky
one.
Charms.
We've got Four-Leaf Clover. We've got Dirty Shoes and A Friend with Weed. So, yeah, like, I love how creative excuse me, I love how creative these, tier lists are, but yeah,
Yeah, normally we change them up, but I think this one's pretty good. I like
yeah.
the categories.
So I guess we'll go ahead and begin. We have the first one. This one released in
93,
oh
if I'm not
93 was
mistaken.
it? I almost said 96, but I think Leprechaun in Space came out in 96. Bad time for horror movies, except for Scream.
Mhm.
but but we'll get to that later. So yeah, Leprechaun the original. This is the one that has Jennifer Aniston. I think this was like one of her directorial debuts in films, and like it's a film that even she doesn't really talk about a whole lot nowadays. Now I don't know if that's just because she's not interested in horror movies or just because she just simply doesn't like how the film turned out. Either way you look at it, this is the one that started it all, and for many people, this is the best of the franchise. And it's not just because the sentiment of being the first movie in the franchise is usually how it goes, but it's definitely the one that has like usually the best pacing, some of the best jokes, of course. This is like this is like the film at least trying to be somewhat scary. You know,
Mhm.
it's at least trying to be somewhat serious. But yeah, um, the original Leprechaun for me, I don't know how you would feel, but like I would either rank it either in the pot of gold, if not Lucky Charms. I think that it deserves either the category, but I'd like to know what you think.
Well, the cool thing about that is, we ran I ran a little poll, leading up to this, asking, people what their favorite Leprechaun film was. We did a little elimination tournament, and most people, I mean, it was like 62% picked the original to be the best and their favorite of the
Hmm.
Leprechaun films. And I've always personally enjoyed the film for a couple different reasons. I love how colorful the film is. I don't know why, but it just feels like there's a little bit more color to it compared to the second film. um, I love the purple pants that the leprechaun wears for whatever reason. I don't know why they ditched that. And
Yeah.
I actually like, and I get it. Jennifer Aniston, this is like, one of her first, movies where she's acting as, a character, like one of the lead characters. And, I think she does okay. But outside of her, I actually kind of like the characters. I
Yeah.
mean, I'll include her. Tori, Nathan, Alex, and Ozzy. Really liked Ozzy. Um, I'm really glad to see him come back in a later film. I love that dynamic, and there's just a lot of fun moments with the characters,
Hmm.
specifically Ozzy. I remember a couple of lines, but I don't know. Like, I do really enjoy the film where it's the original, and it is in some ways. And it sounds so weird to say like it's trying to be scary. How can a film about a killer leprechaun be scary? But in terms of like tone, it is one of the more serious films in the franchise. And I think
Yeah.
that kind of plays to its benefits. I love the camera angles. They don't show the leprechaun as much as they do in the later films. There's something about this one that I really like. With that
Yeah,
being
I remember
said,
him being hidden in the dark fairly well. He actually wasn't. Yeah, it's like you said, he wasn't shown as
not in the
often.
broad daylight, like
Yeah.
in some of the hood movies, they just throw them out there. Um, I don't know. I've just always enjoyed this one. I could see this being in the vein of like Monster Squad or something like that. You could show a younger person to get into horror that isn't going to scar them for life, but something to kind of get them kick started. It's not too scary, but it has some cool moments in it.
Or
Uh,
inadvertently, you can show them Four or
oh
Leprechaun
no,
Origins, and they probably will never want to watch horror movie ever again. So,
yeah, yeah, they'll toss the genre in the garbage.
yeah.
Um, for me, I would say Lucky Charms because I do like a film more than this one.
Okay, yeah. So I'm thinking like I was thinking if not Pot of Gold, of like Lucky Charms, but like I
Mhm.
know that some people would like rank this like the best one, and like that's totally fair. I can definitely see like why, but
Oh,
there
I
are there is
uh,
a film in this movie, the series that I do actually like more than this one.
same here, and I'll have to add this to the first Leprechaun. I think it probably has the best ending. The "Fuck you, Lucky Charms." I love that scene.
Oh yeah,
So,
yeah.
in terms of ending,
I,
I think
I
it has the best ending of the
I
franchise.
think that's actually appropriate to put it there. Yeah, that actually makes
Absolutely.
sense. So, fuck you, Lucky Charms. Oh, I love that. Now we have Leprechaun 2. Um, do you want to take this one first, or you want me to go first?
Oh, and what I feel about it?
Yeah.
Okay, so for me, Leprechaun 2, like I mentioned earlier, is one that I checked out a lot on the Sci-Fi Channel. It just happened to be always playing for whatever reason, especially anytime on St. Patrick's Day. I turn the fucking channel, Leprechaun 2's playing. This
I
one,
wonder why 2 specifically.
I
Like,
don't know
why not
why.
4?
It
Like,
was it,
4 actually would make more sense. I wonder, but
it was just always playing. I don't know why. But just like the first one, there's some characters I like, and there's some, pretty shoddy acting, which I mean that is consistent throughout the franchise. The actress who plays Bridget, although she's not a bad looking lady, there's moments.
she's not the best, honestly.
Yeah, yeah, there's some moments she's like Cody, and I'm like, why did her voice? She was talking normal earlier, but I
Yeah.
like Cody and I like Morty. I like their whole synergy that they have. I think they work well off of one another. Morty's just con man. Cody's just young guy trying to just, kind of follow in that footsteps, but also just trying to make a living. I like that whole aspect. But I don't think they're as interesting as the first film's characters. And then also, outside of a couple of things, even though nostalgia has a good hold on me with this film, because like I said, it was always playing, I
Yeah.
don't really come back to this one as much because I've seen it so many times. And like I said, there's not too much special other than like a really cool kill that I like with the lawnmower. I thought that was pretty cool.
I also like the kill with
The
the
Morty.
Morty getting his,
Yeah.
like, a pot of gold in his stomach. I thought
Okay.
that was also pretty
That
like,
that one too.
but that being said, the lawnmower kill it had me fucking rolling the first time I saw it. I thought that shit was hilarious. It was a great kill,
Dude,
but
Leprechaun's
and
so dirty.
it's not even that it's a gory kill, it's like the setup to it which makes it work for me,
Hmm.
but go ahead, continue. Yeah.
Uh, I really don't know if I have much more to add. Like, it's not a bad, Leprechaun film. It's just there's a couple that I would probably watch before it because I feel like there's other Leprechaun films that have more to offer. I think
Exactly.
it's kind of mid. Um, Now I'll let you go ahead and talk, and then we'll discuss where we're going to put it at.
Yeah, I'm kind of in the same boat personally. Like when I was going back to watch the franchise, like like I rewatched it like all like months ago, and I tried watching it all again before we actually did this show again because I really tried to, but like there just got to a certain point. I'm like, look, I've already seen these movies before. I know what I'm talking about. Just fucking go for it. But like rewatching Leprechaun 2, I've always just kind of found it to be like just a whatever sequel. It's not bad, it's not good, it's not really offensive, it's just kind of there. Like I said, besides a couple of standout kills like the lawnmower kill and the pot of gold, which was pretty funny. I always love and this happens particularly in 3 of course, but I always love how the greedy people tend to get the worst
Oh
kills
yeah.
in this series just because like they're the ones who get the comeuppance from the leprechaun. So, and it's always like one of those things where like be careful what you wish for, especially with the pot of gold in the stomach. But yeah, like I said, I think that him trying to secure a bride, I think that's why he was attracted to Bridget because he wanted a
Hmm.
bride, the leprechaun. Movie's just fun. It's not bad. It's not great. It's just a perfectly acceptable sequel. So all things considered,
Yeah, I
and it
wouldn't.
should be stated that like none of these movies have great continuity between each of them. Like
Yeah.
none of them. Like Leprechaun gets taken out in every single film, and like there have been some people that have made theories saying that like oh each film actually is a new Leprechaun. It's not the
Hmm.
same one from the previous one, and I'm like that could be plausible, sure, but also the fact that like it's played by the same actor and he looks the exact same as he did before. I mean, I don't know, but then again, this is a franchise that has never gave a fuck about continuity in the first place. It's
No.
like every single time that they invent a new movie, it's just like, okay, he blew up in the last film. Okay, he's gonna be resurrected by an amulet around his neck or something like that. That's fine.
that have
He's like
different
a statue now.
weaknesses throughout the films as well, which I think is hilarious. So something
Yeah,
that doesn't affect him will affect him in the next film.
exactly.
Just to
Yeah.
add just a little bit more, nothing crazy. I think that it's acceptable. Leprechaun 2, it's a fine Leprechaun film, but like you mentioned, I think it's fun, but you can have more entertainment with certain ones. It's not one I'd
Mhm.
actively go and watch, but it's not one that I'm gonna turn off if it's on TV. I'll definitely check
No,
it out.
the best way I can describe it is, like, if I'm marathoning it, I will watch it.
Yeah.
I will put it on, but, like but any other time, I'm probably gonna choose, like, another entry before that one, if that makes sense.
Yep.
And
I agree.
but that being said, also, I will choose 2 over other entries easily. So,
Mhm.
we'll get to those later on, of course. So, for right now, I would say that if we're being fair to the sequel, I actually feel comfortable putting it in Four-Leaf Clover.
Yep.
It's the definition of middle of the road. It's not bad, it's just kinda there.
No, I wholeheartedly agree on that. I
So,
like that place for it.
yeah. Ooh, now we have, what is arguably one of the most popular entries in the entire saga, and I'm just gonna go ahead and spoil it right away. I love Leprechaun 3. This is easily the most fun I have watching this franchise. I love the idea of Leprechaun going to Vegas. It makes sense. It's thematically appropriate. It's like where
Perfect.
he gets the most greediest people, and like it's just there's so much there, like obviously like the potential with like what can be done. And I feel like if this movie had a bigger budget than it did, it might have actually even gone even further with its themes. But like,
Oh, yeah.
you get like magic shows, you get like the casinos, you get like fucking restaurants, you get like a hospital scene which is just filled with gags and whatnot. You know, there's obviously like there's also like a lot of great mythology that's introduced in this movie with like a gold shilling, offering you the ability to grant yourself like a wish, of course. Of course, you have the main character whose name I forget, but he turns into a leprechaun as the movie progresses. I
I
think
think
his
his name's Scott,
uh,
I think.
Scott, and then like whatever the
Tammy.
girl's name is, Tammy. Yeah, I
Mhm.
think she's very sweet, of course, and I also think she's attractive, of course. But yeah, um, I love Leprechaun 3. I know where I'm gonna rank it, but I obviously want to hear what you have to say first, Chris.
Well, I was planning on using this right here to stop you and reverse the decision because I thought
Like
you
how
were
the card's even green too.
yeah,
Like,
I thought you were going to like put it low or at least lower than
mhm,
I wanted it. I'm with you, man. This is the one I have the most fun with. Like you said, the idea of having the leprechaun in Vegas, unlimited potential. If it had a bigger budget, maybe it could have done more. But the stuff we
mhm,
get, yeah, Scott and Tammy, they're okay. And it's cool that, he gets turned into the leprechaun.
yeah.
But to me,
Similar to to add on to that, similar to Friday the 13th Part 6, I think that their relationship with, like, Tommy and Megan, I
uh,
think they get attached to each other just a bit too much,
right.
especially in the short runtime, and let's be honest, Scott is kind of a simp in this movie for Tammy,
Yeah,
which
yeah.
but go ahead, continue, I'm sorry, yeah.
But my favorite thing about it is obviously Warwick Davis as the leprechaun, but some of the side characters, like is it Fabi? Not no Fazio or something. I don't know his name. The magician guy, and then Loretta. Those
Oh, yeah.
two absolutely kill me. The kills,
The 2 detectives are pretty funny too, yeah.
yeah, yeah, they are. The kills in the film are some of my favorite. I mean, my God, they are just off the fucking chart. I love when
Like, Loretta
Loretta
getting Botoxed up,
blew
like
up,
Fazio or whatever his name is getting cut in half,
chainsawed.
the fucking, the owner of the casino, like, basically
Yeah.
dying from a robotic sex doll, it's like
And even the opening of the film with the shop
Mhm.
owner, the pawn shop owner, I love that. Him and the leprechaun, like they just battle for the first little bit, and that guy goes through
Yeah.
hell. And he bites the toe. He's like, spicy. Oh
It's just a
man,
constant game of chicken back and forth,
yes.
he gets a hit on him, then he bites off a toe, he hits him back, he gets his ear bitten off, it's just so fun, it's so like and this movie, oh my god, it's so quotable too,
Oh yeah. I mean,
"And
the best
untold past
quotes.
will untold riches, I'll rip them off and rub them blind, those dirty
Dirty
sons
sons
of
of
bitches."
bitches. Love it,
Like,
man.
there's so many quotable things in this movie, like, damn, like, you can tell that they had fun with this, even though they had, like, a low budget, you can tell that they definitely had fun making this movie, but
And you mentioned the hospital scene. I die laughing whenever they're asking about the insurance. He's like, "Do you take green cross?" And he's like, spitting out that green fucking liquid shit. I love it, man.
yeah.
There's so
And of
many.
course, the little anagram or whatever it is, it comes
Yeah.
out as like "fuck you" in clovers. I thought that shit was hilarious too. Um, yeah, man, there's just so much. Like, come over to the green side, I'll make you rich. Of course, if we're going back to Loretta for a second,
Mhm.
her death is funny, but like the actress, of course, I know that she obviously also became somewhat famous in the horror community because of Texas Chainsaw Massacre, which I still need to see that movie. The was it
Second one.
second one? I almost said the fourth one, but it was the second one. Yeah.
Mhm.
Um, yeah, like there's just so much good shit in this movie. I love Leprechaun 3. I honestly I know that some people might say that it leans a bit too much into being too goofy and it feels a bit too low budget, but what they did, man, like I said, if we're talking specifically about this franchise, then
Pot of gold.
Pot of Gold. I
Yep.
love this one. So it's just really, really fun. So
No, I'm with
uh,
you. The best Leprechaun to me, in my opinion.
yeah, yeah. There are entries that come close to it, but like I just really think that like thematically this one is the best one. And the fact that it's the third one in the entry in the series like says something because like I said, typically it's the first one that usually is the best one, but not always, but
And
sometimes.
yeah, and I could watch that one anytime. It doesn't have to be St. Patrick's Day.
Oh yeah, sometimes I'll just throw on if I'm bored and I just like want a good laugh, I'll just throw on Leprechaun 3 for the fuck of it. I
Mhm.
just want I'm like I don't care about continuity. I don't care about I just want to have fun. I just want to just I watched it a couple months ago with my family. So and they had never seen it before and they all laughed at it. So
And like the thing
um
is, I know there's better films than it, but strictly on entertainment value, I would rather watch Leprechaun 3 with a bunch of friends than watch a like critically acclaimed movie. I don't know. I just have so much fun with it. A lot of
yeah.
laughs. Great film, in my opinion.
Yeah. And now things take a fucking nosedive after this one because now we have Leprechaun 4 in space.
Yeah.
Do I even need to say much more?
I'm with you on that. It is to me the one that I can. There's another one that I can just skip entirely. I think that the
Yeah.
idea is obviously cool. I mean, Jason X was very cheesy. Even Hellraiser,
Yeah, somehow
Bloodlines.
Jason X actually was even better than this movie.
Yeah, that's
Like
what I'm saying. Like you have Pinhead, you have Jason, you had some horror icons going to space, and I'll admit I like the little lightsaber thing that happens with the Leprechaun. That's kind of goofy, and shoots out the guy's dick. That was somewhat comical. But
shit looked painful though. Like I just oh my god. Yeah.
outside of that, the Sylvester Stallone guy as the main lead, I don't know. I thought I know they're soldiers, but I thought a lot of them were boring.
Mhm.
And I know that people be like, "Oh, that's their personality." I beg to differ. If you watch Aliens, the soldiers can
The
have a
cast is really
personality.
fucking fun. Like they feel like they know each other. They actually like like they dick around with each other. They make fun of each other. Like I'll never forget that interaction between like Vasquez and like the other guy saying like like,
Mhm.
do you ever get mistaken for a man? No, do you? That show is funny. Like that shows personality. Like
Yeah, I love their
but
banter back and forth. These soldiers, I'd rather watch paint dry.
now that being said, like even though I list this movie as low as I do, because like some people actually will list other movies much lower, but like the reason why this movie, for me anyway, just is so terrible is because like this is an example, I think, like, when people bring up saying, like, this franchise is, like, low budget, like, it's low budget. We
Mhm.
have, like, some of the beginning shots of the movie show, like, this spaceship, like, that, like, is, like, CGI looking,
Oh,
and it
yeah.
somehow looks even worse than the one from Jason X, I think, right? And I can't remember if Jason X came out before or after this movie, but
After.
either way, yeah, but it's like I get that it's 90s CGI. I get it. It's not top tier quality, but it's like as far as I'm concerned, like look, either show it or don't. And in my opinion, it's better not to show it. And I know that also didn't have the budget. I get it, but like I don't know. First time I watched this movie, I fell asleep because I was so bored by it.
Yeah, I think
I
it's a drag.
not even Warwick Davis in this movie could save the movie for me. Like I love the guy and I love him as Leprechaun. And like I
Mhm.
said, that being said, we'll get to a movie later on that doesn't feature him that is even worse than this one. But it's like that to me is but even then, like that's like the only saving grace of this movie is Warwick Davis himself. What we do get of him is still fun to an extent, but even then, like the movie is just it's a fucking chore to sit through. I fell asleep when I first watched it, and when I tried watching it again, I'm like I just slouched back in my chair because I'm like, I don't want to watch this thing. I just don't like this movie. But I know some people like it, but I wish I could see like what people find so entertaining about it. Like compared
Me
to like
too.
Leprechaun 3, Leprechaun 3 was like the highlight of the series, and like it just like went straight down like to the depths of hell afterwards. Like broke through the crust and broke to the center of the earth, like that kind of shitty.
And you want to know the sad thing about it? It's by the same director.
Yeah, like that's crazy. Like what? I don't get it. Like
Me either, man. 3 was a hit, and to me, 4 in space is just a complete miss. I don't know how a film in space is boring, but they managed to do it.
I mean, maybe that's kind of the reason why people like it. Maybe they like it because it's so wacky and goofy. Maybe because it's like so like dreamlike, almost like a David Fincher movie, like a David what's that guy's name?
I
Not
think
David
it is.
Fincher, but not David Fincher, but like how do you say that guy's name? I forget. But it's kind of got like this dreamlike quality to it. It's almost kind of like well, it's a bit too wacky and goofy, and some people might like that, but I don't know. It just got to a point like where I'm just like I've had enough of this movie. I can't take it anymore. So, but yeah, Leprechaun 4.
Yeah,
Don't like this one at
bottom of
all.
the
So
barrel would skip if we're doing a marathon.
absolutely would skip it. Yeah. Like I said, the only saving grace is Warwick Davis, and even then, not too much of a saving grace. Now we have what the first one, like I said, that I watched was Leprechaun in the Hood. This is kind of like the no pun intended, but the black comedy entry in the series, and like a lot of people actually like love this one too because it's again it's like leaning into that kind of like dark comedy, funny horror thing with Warwick Davis, and then you have the three guys who are they're trying to send like a positive message with
Oh
like
yeah, their music.
making a rap song that's positive, and then of course you have Ice T who like is like the shitty producer who like turns them down. He's also got like a magic flute from the Leprechaun. Fuck, so many good jokes as well. He like pulls out a baseball bat from his afro. That shit is hilarious. Like that's
Dude
so
just keeps
funny.
pulling stuff out left and right, and then a fucking baseball bat had me
Yeah, I
rolling.
wish that they did more shit like that in this movie. Like,
Hmm.
it's only, like, a handful of times, but I'm like, I wish that they did more of that because it would've made it even better, but yeah. Um, Leprechaun in the Hood, like, I don't know, where would you personally rank this, Chris? I'm curious.
Okay, so try not to hit my mic here. Um, I'll just do a little backstory. I watched the In the Hood films growing up, and I thought
Mhm,
they were okay. I was never really all that, impressed by, either of them. But the last time that I watched this one, I actually really enjoyed it. Now, I'm not gonna say like I'm putting it in Lucky Charms or a pot of gold, but me personally, I would probably put it even as high as Four Leaf Clover, right behind Leprechaun 2.
mhm.
Well, what where you at with it?
Actually, yeah, I think it's, like, middle of the road. I do think that I think it is superior to Back to the Hood, in my opinion,
I do agree.
but, I would still say that I would probably put it maybe just below Leprechaun 2, just barely, but
Yeah, I think that the ending of the
I
film, I kind of
I don't know because then again I did laugh a lot more than Leprechaun too, but I mean, mm, what do you think? Like Leprechaun or like over? I don't know.
I think I like Leprechaun 2 a little bit more. That's just me personally speaking.
I'm trying to
Um,
think back because like
there is
yeah
some really
no
good
no
moments in the
I
hood,
no
though.
I'm gonna prefer Leprechaun too. I think yeah I'm going to.
I think Leprechaun in the Hood has some good moments. I like the characters. I like the whole flute. I like how they keep adding additions, to the franchise. The only thing I don't like is I think the Leprechaun, the makeup gets kind of worse as the movies progress.
Yeah. Now that being said, like we're about to get to it, but like unless we have anything more to comment on, I actually want to get into Leprechaun Back to the Hood because like it actually does something that's pretty interesting.
Yeah, let's go for
Um,
it.
I was gonna say because like Leprechaun in the Hood, it's a fine movie. Nothing really too much else to say. It's just again perfectly middle of the road. Nothing worse than that. But Leprechaun Back to the Hood. I will say the one thing that stood out to me when I first watched this movie was that I liked the Leprechaun's look in this movie. I liked how he like, you remember like, his like clothing change. He had like a different
Yeah, he
top
has
hat.
kind of like a trench coat looking thing.
Yeah, it's very reminiscent of like 1800s or 1900s uh mythology clothing. It feels very like of that era, and like I don't know, it's very like I don't know how you would describe it, but it's a very different flavor for the Leprechaun. And like and even though we get it in just this one movie, I actually quite like the way he looks. I think it's actually one of the better aspects of this movie, if you can believe it. Which is not saying much.
Yeah.
But um I personally, and we can talk about our experiences, but if you don't mind, I'm actually gonna drop this into dirty shoes. only
That's
because I still think it's better than Leprechaun 4 and another film we'll get to in a second.
yeah, I do have more fun with Back to the Hood. I watched it, like I said, growing up. Me and my brother, we laughed at this one the most. There was just so much funny moments in the film. A couple that come to mind is whenever the guy gets whacked in the face with a baseball bat, like he drives by and just hits him and
Yeah,
knocks his
yeah.
teeth out. The leprechaun,
Or like when Leprechaun gets like fucking shoved in the fridge, like
well,
that.
yeah, that too. And he's hitting the bong and everything, gets shoved in the fridge. I love the bong kill. He just
That's some
stabs
good
that
shit.
one guy, and
That's good shit.
the battle with the cops I thought was funny. Yeah, he
Mhm.
catches the cop's leg and rips it off. He even like does the Jason lives, like goes right through the guy's chest and has his heart, pulls it out. I
Yeah.
love that. Oh, there's one disturbing scene. You see
Hey,
his
fuck,
fucking
man!
feet.
You're taking part of my bond. Now you're trying to take my gold from me. Like, hey, fuck you, man.
Oh yeah. But there's a scene where he's like, he goes into, I don't know the exact name of the establishment, but this lady's getting a massage, and he jumps up on her, and his fucking crusty feet's on her, and she's like, oh,
Yes, I forgot about
and
that.
I'm
Yes,
like, dude, those
like,
feet are feet of
oh,
nightmares. Oh my god, what else was I expecting though? He's a fucking leprechaun. He needs to see a dermatologist.
yeah, like again, just with as per typical for like a lot of these movies is like Leprechaun is the saving grace because he does have like a lot
Hmm.
of funny moments, like the whole bong scene with him getting
Oh,
high, like that shit is funny. You know, give me gold. There's a good boy. Like that shit. It's funny. Like that shit's funny. I do think that Leprechaun is a bit too clumsy in this movie, and he tends to get pushed around a bit too much. I know that
yeah.
that's not saying much because the Leprechaun already is kind of a goofy character, and like he can't really be taken seriously anyway. But like I think in this movie he's pushed around just a bit too much, in my
Yeah.
opinion.
Do you remember the phone call? It was after this big fight scene. He picked up the phone call, and this girl's like, "Hello," and he's like telling her about himself. "Oh, I think I have a good personality, and this and that. And then he's
Yeah,
like, how
yeah,
tall are you?" He's like, 3'6". Hello, hello. I was like, dude. I
yeah,
mean, it's already kind of comical that it's a killer
yeah.
leprechaun, but adding that to it kind of takes away any bit of like the intimidation factor. But at this
Yeah,
point in the
yeah.
franchise, it's kind of like Freddy's dead. We're
Like
just
like
going
the
all for
comedy has, like,
laughs.
taken pretty much over. It's no longer a
Hmm.
scary movie. Like, I wouldn't mind I could see this being shown to kids, and they probably wouldn't be
Yeah,
scared by it, so, like,
but it's at least entertaining, and that's what you could say is definitely better than being boring, like Leprechaun 4 in space.
yeah. Thing is, I do find Back to the Hood to be, for the most part, actually pretty damn boring, but, like, there are a couple of, like, saving grace scenes where I'm like, "Okay, the movie as a whole is pretty boring," and I think in fact, I think it's more boring compared to In the Hood,
Oh yeah, I think
but
In the Hood's
the
better
few times, like,
paced.
where we get, like, good laughs with, like, the Leprechaun are actual saving graces.
Hmm.
Again, going back to Leprechaun 4, like, I don't recall laughing at hardly anything. The only thing that I remember actually just having any emotion to was the again, the Leprechaun shooting out of the guy's penis,
Oh yeah,
but, like, beyond that, like, I'm like, "Look, I would rather have at least a movie that has a couple of funny scenes rather than a movie that has, like, nothing funny at all." Like, I know that it's subjective, of course, comedy is subjective,
hmm.
but I find Back to the Hood to be, like, not as boring as, like, as 4, and that's why I put it in Dirty Shoes because it's just slightly above that one,
And I do
but
like how they tried to add a little bit of lore to the Leprechaun with the intro and stuff, and with that one lady who was like doing the crystal ball and stuff like that. They try to add more mythos and make it more mystical and shit
yeah,
like that.
wasn't
And that
this
was
was the one
kind
with
of cool.
this was the one with the book, wasn't it? Like, they opened with,
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
a
yeah. With the
storybook,
book,
yeah,
yeah, I kind of
yeah.
like that. That was interesting. Better than not
I can
giving them
see where most
anything
of the
new.
budget went to.
Yeah, the animation.
Most of
Yeah.
the budget. Yeah. But yeah, it's fine. It's much better than 4, but again, I can't put it much higher than that. A couple of great scenes with the Leprechaun, but yeah, I don't know beyond
Yeah,
that.
I agree on that.
And now
Man,
Leprechaun Origins, or should we call it the fucking mediocre Wendigo film, right?
yeah, this film, and the thing that blows my mind is, I've watched wrestling for a pretty long time, so I know the actor who played the Leprechaun. He played Hornswoggle in WWE, and
Mhm.
granted, that was pure like comedy in terms of character. You would think that maybe they would try to put some makeup on him like Warwick Davis and kind of let him be scary but also funny. But he's not even to me a leprechaun in the film. Like it's a creature.
No. No.
It should even have the name. They're only cashing in on the IP, which it's not even that good of an IP as much as I love some of, 3 and I like the first one. Why this film? Why not just be your own thing? It would be better if you view it as something different than a Leprechaun film, but if we're ranking it as a Leprechaun film, to me, it's the worst one, bottom of the barrel. I would watch In Space before I watch this.
I was literally about to say I would actually like watch it only because of Warwick Davis.
Yeah,
He like
there's a
again he has a
Leprechaun at
couple of
least.
like, like the performance alone in that movie, even though he's not as funny as he
Mhm.
is in the other movies, I still would take that one over this one. But Origins, like again, like just like 4, the first time I watched it, I'm like, it has a pretty decent setup with the beginning of like the girl running through the field and like
Yeah.
getting torn apart, and you're like, oh shit, okay, so they're actually taking this a lot more seriously now. They're actually gonna try and be a lot more scary. I'm like, okay. I was just curious like what the leprechaun was gonna look at throughout the entire movie. The idea of it taking place in Ireland is cool. Nice like a little setting change. I recognize a couple of actors here. Mainly the I forgot the guy's name, but he actually was in Freddy versus Jason, I think.
Oh, yeah, yeah, he plays Mark in that
Nice,
film.
nice like little reference there. Like I like that actor, but
Mhm.
like again, it's like, look, I'm all for filmmakers wanting to do something new. If they want to take the Leprechaun in a more serious direction, that's fine. I think you should be allowed to kind of spice things up or change things a little bit, as long as you retain the structure and foundation of what those films were. This film doesn't fucking have that at all. This is
No.
not a Leprechaun film in the sense that, like, it's a goofy, fun time, or even just if you remove it from the equation of, like, okay, it's not a good Leprechaun film, can you at least watch it as a good monster movie? No. This movie sucks as a monster movie. It's not even it's not a good Leprechaun movie, and it's not a good monster movie. There are better monster movies out there. I always point to Tremors. I love Tremors,
Oh, yeah, Tremors is
but
great.
it's like I mean, I've seen Wendigo, like we were talking yesterday about Fear Itself, I think that's
Mhm.
actually a really good show. There's actually a Wendigo episode that handles this concept better, and even when you get around to seeing the Leprechaun, I'm like, he has like this weird like glow vision that is like reminiscent
Yeah.
of like the not the Terminator, well, the Terminator with like his like search mode vision, and of course the Predator, but
Yeah, like the infrared
yeah,
vision. That hurts my
yeah,
eyes. I don't like that at all. It's moving
it,
too
it just
quickly.
it takes me out of the movie, and
Mhm.
when I look at the Leprechaun, he just reminds me of, like, one of those cave dwellers from The
The
Descent,
Descent,
you know?
yes, that's
And
what he
somehow
reminds
even
me
the
of.
characters in those movies look more scary than this thing does.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Maybe the makeup's better, but, like, the crawlers in Descent just are more scary because 'cause they're more goblin-like, and, like, this again, it's just a poorly made Wendigo film, and it's not even a good one at that. So,
And
like I said, I'm putting it above 4 only because at least 4 has Warwick Davis. This movie has no entertainment value. It's not a good Leprechaun film. It's not a good monster movie, and I think it's really saying something because I think after this movie was made, I think that the company that made it actually went out of business. So, at least I think it did. But
if it didn't, it should because, man,
yeah,
this movie kinda fucking sucks, but to go back, just real quick about Hornswoggle, and I get it, his hot's the reason why you picked him to play the leprechaun in the film, The Leprechaun.
yeah, yeah,
You could have picked a different actor because Hornswoggle could have done something with the performance, I think, or at least could have tried, but not even
yeah.
to give him a chance. Like, come on. Disappointing.
Well, it's like imagine if you like had like cast like the Undertaker, for instance, to play the Creeper from Jeepers Creepers, right?
Yeah.
And the thing is, but he's always being hidden in the shadows, and he's constantly moving and swaying, and the camera's shaking a whole bunch. It's like, yeah, you cast him, but like, if you don't really do anything good with the performance, you may as well just cast it like a random like Tom, Dick, and Harry.
It'd be a
There's
lot
nothing
cheaper
about him
too.
that stands out. Yeah, it'd be a lot cheaper too. It's like I think they did it only for the name recognition and the fact that it was a WWE company that
Yeah,
made this movie.
true WWE
But
films.
there's like, and I'm not trying to say it's the guy's fault. Clearly, he was just trying to do what he was trying to do with the film source material he was given, but it just did not work out. There's nothing about this movie that's entertaining. It's like again, it's a bore fest, and like even the scenes like where it tries to be intense or good, I'm like, I just don't give a shit at all. And like even with the two like the son and the dad who are like trying to feed these characters to like the leprechaun as like a deal because apparently back during like a long time ago in Ireland, they had this thing where like where miners they were taking gold from the mine shaft, and like the leprechaun found out about it and got pissed with them. and so he started feeding on the townsfolk. But then they're like, okay, we'll do a plea deal with you, where like we'll feed you victims of we'll feed you victims from the town, and in return you let us keep the gold. I'm like, really? That's your plea deal? Like, you can't just kill this fucking thing? And the thing is, I say that because, like, later on in the movie, the final girl, she kills this thing with, like, one fucking headshot so easily. I'm like, "The fuck? Like, why are you sacrificing all these people for? This thing is apparently really easy to kill," you
Yeah,
know?
and if you have like a whole town on your side, like I'm pretty sure you guys can take on a fucking leprechaun. You know what I
And not to
mean?
mention the dad has a fucking shotgun too. Like, that's even crazier to me. Like, I'm like, "Oh, just shoot the fucking thing." Like, like and it's like eventually that gold's gonna dry out eventually, right? You're gonna spend the gold on something. So
Oh
like
yeah.
even by the time like okay, like you have like a finite resource, which is the gold. Do you have an infinite source of people that you're gonna just keep offering? I mean, like apparently,
Yeah,
but
true.
I don't know. I just there's so many things about this. I know that it's not meant to be taken like too seriously, but like I said, you can't even watch this as a good Leprechaun film nor a good Wendigo film. It fails in both categories. So like
And
easily the worst one in this franchise for me.
I think even at the end, the girl says, "Fuck you, Lucky Charms," as a callback to the original, which just does not work.
Like fuck
Zero.
you, fuck you. Like you can't even say it like it's like Alien Romulus. I love that movie, but like
Oh yeah.
just the way that they said it in that movie, I'm like it hurt me when they said it that way.
Yeah,
But
that was forced. Stop
I do like
doing
that
that
movie,
in
but
movies. Stop
stop doing that,
forcing,
please.
quotes and stuff. Make your own quotes or just don't even do them at all. Make cool action sequences.
Mhm. And then finally
Wow.
we have Returns. I almost said Origins again. Leprechaun Origins 2. Thank God that didn't happen. Leprechaun Returns. I actually really like this movie. It was just
I do too.
Along with Origins, this actually was a first time watch for me when I bought my Leprechaun like the one you have by yourself. I have the same one. I bought it like a couple years back, and this was like a first time watch with me. Um, and I was, like, thinking, like, "Oh god, please don't be a bad movie," after going from Origins, and then you watch Returns, you're like, "Oh my god, this actually is pretty good." It kinda goes like the Halloween 2018 route where it's a requel or it's a sequel to the original. That's pretty
Mhm.
cool. It's got Ozzy back, it's got, like, a whole new cast of characters, it's got the original location back. It does not feature Warwick Davis as the Leprechaun, but
Yeah,
I think the person we do get to play him actually is not bad. I think his laugh can be a bit too, like, but
yeah, a little too high pitch could be a little irritating, when it's
yeah.
done, excessively, but
For
much
someone for
better
a movie that doesn't have Warwick Davis, it's not bad,
much
so
better than the Leprechaun that we got in Origins. So I was happy with his performance. I don't know the actor's name off the top of my head, but I would actually like to see him come back for another film if that, ever happens. Um,
Oop,
I enjoyed it because it brought back Ozzy. Like you mentioned, we have Tori's daughter, which I think she did a pretty good job. I think character name was Lila. I
mhm,
liked her. I liked, for the most part, almost everything about the film. Thought the kills are pretty good, creative,
yeah.
and where you have it is exactly where I would have it. That's Lucky
Still
Charms,
prefer the original, but, like, I would happily watch this movie right after the original if I had the opportunity,
and it has a
so
good pace too,
good
entertaining.
pacing. It definitely is a top contender for the goriest,
Oh yeah.
excuse me, definitely the goriest, and, like, definitely, like, some of the most well shot movie in the franchise. I think
Hmm.
the kills are ramped up, there's, like, a lot of creative shit in this movie. Of course, you have Ozzy who returns, which spoiler alert, but Ozzy dies in the first 15 minutes of the movie. And then like like he emerges from the stomach of his stomach, right? And
Hmm.
like that was pretty fucking funny. I think the Leprechaun even says something like Daddy or Papa or something like that. It's like some goofy shit like that, right? Um, yeah, like the girl, the sorority sister, I think, in the movie, like who like where like the leprechaun like is like a bunch of like little leprechauns, like they're like throwing
Yeah,
pitchforks at her. Like that shit is funny. I like that. Like
that
that's pretty
reminds
fun.
me of Army of Darkness, which I really enjoyed. I thought that was
Yeah, yeah.
funny.
Um, I was gonna say like I don't know if that was like an intentional callback, but like there's like a lot of cool shit in this movie that I just
Hmm.
love. Yeah, I mean, like, setting was cool, it's nice to see back some of the original cast, again, like, I think for what we have as far as, like, the actual performance of Leprechaun, it does have a couple of drawbacks, but for what it is, it's a hell of a lot better than the actor in Origins, but I don't put too much blame on him just because, like I said, he just was being told what he was supposed to be told to do, so
Yeah.
but it's a much more welcome performance that if we're not talking about Warwick Davis, then I prefer him.
And also to add to that, I like the tone a lot better than I do with In the Hood films. Don't get me wrong, they're entertaining, but it was cool to see the Leprechaun being somewhat intimidating, you know what I
Mhm.
mean? Like, there is some comedy to it. You're not gonna have a Leprechaun film without any comedy, but it kinda brought it back to its roots, and I
Yeah.
enjoyed that quite a bit.
Yeah. I prefer, like, when my leprechaun, like, is, like, in part 3, like, he is intimidating, but, like, he also can be goofy, when he needs to be.
Yeah, not being
Um,
pushed around though like he he gets in Back to the Hood and all these other ones.
yeah, and then this is just again, it's just a fun entry. I've only seen it one time, but, like, I'm curious to see if my thoughts have changed a lot since then, but, like, it was a solid entry, and it's like you said, if they ever do, like, another one, I wouldn't mind seeing this actor come back and playing him again, or just and it's not like they have to follow the continuity of this movie exactly. They can just
Yeah.
again, if they wanna do, like, something just balls to the wall where it's like they just the leprechaun is just back, he's just doing a whole bunch of shit in a new movie with a new setting and new characters, but if this is the last entry in the Leprechaun series, then I'm okay with that. It actually it was pretty fun to watch, and I like quite a bit.
Hell of a lot better when it comes to bookending the series, if it is the last of the series, than the awful taste of Leprechaun Origins. So I'm
Yes.
very happy with that. I won't forget my first time watching Leprechaun Returns. I was not expecting much after, watching Origins and
Yeah.
pleasantly,
Yeah.
pleasantly surprised. And honestly, I wish we could have got another film by now because I love that little green bastard. I can't help it.
Yeah.
I love him. He cracks me
Yeah.
up.
I still feel like there is potential, like, for, like, another film or 2, but, like, I
Mhm.
understand, like, some people, like, think the franchise as a whole is pretty shitty, which fair enough. Like I said,
Yeah.
like, I don't consider even though I have my favorites in this franchise, like, I would never rank The Leprechaun as, like, my like, I wouldn't rank some of these movies as, like, a bucket list of movies you need to watch before you die. Of course
Mhm.
not. Not even horror. Know who you are. If you love goofy horror shit, if you love things like Killer Clowns from Outer Space, then, like,
Yeah.
you kinda owe it to yourself to give, like, some of these movies a chance. And even if you don't wanna and, like, that's the best thing about it. If you're being told, like, a majority of the movies are not that great, just pick any entry and you can watch it. Like I said, there's no continuity. Each
Yep.
film basically is disconnected from the previous one. It's not like there's gonna be like a last time on the Leprechaun, series. Each movie is treated like its own entry, almost like Rocky, for instance, where, like, it ends definitively and you can just kind of, like, pick and choose which ones you wanna watch. Like, I watch 3 every once in a while just because it's fun, and it does I don't have to have the knowledge of the first 2, it's just Leprechaun doing a bunch of crazy shit, so excuse me.
And it's almost tailored for, like, pick your little adventure because you
Yeah.
have the In the
Yep.
Hood films, you can go the comedy route, but, you have that setting, you have In Space if you want to torture yourself, you have Origins, which is a more serious take, but it's more of a creature than a leprechaun. Then you got
Yeah.
Leprechaun in Vegas, which is fucking phenomenal. I mean, that is I wish we coulda got more of, just give me a part 2 of him in Vegas. I would love that. Then you got the
Yeah,
first
yeah.
one. I like the first one, the setting and everything. It's a good setting, nothing too crazy. And then you get Returns, which is back to that setting, but a modern, horror film, up the gore. So you can literally pick any which one. You don't have to have too much knowledge on it and turn your brain off and just have a good time. That's
Yeah.
Leprechaun.
Yeah. Yeah. Uh, I think that's the best way to describe these movies, yeah, you just turn your brain off, like, we get it, they're not highbrow, they're
Mhm.
not, like, super high quality, but they're just entertaining as fuck, so but yeah. Um Yeah. Okay. So there's our ranking of the series. Like Pot of Gold, of course, is Leprechaun 3. We have Lucky Charms for the original Leprechaun and Leprechaun Returns. Four Leaf Clover, we have Leprechaun 2 and Leprechaun in the Hood. Dirty Shoes, we have Back to the Hood, and then A Friend with Weed, we have Leprechaun 4 and Leprechaun Origins. So I think this actually is in my opinion a very satisfying list. That's
Yeah.
that's
I
perfect.
thought me
Yeah.
and you were gonna have like one or two we disagree on, and we'd have to kind of like talk it out. Like
Mhm.
me and Dante did. The stream we ended up putting privately. But it's crazy that we agree on it like this. The only
I
thing
was gonna say,
that's
I swear
changed.
I'm not trying to do this on purpose. Like agree
Oh,
with you.
me either.
Like
Me either.
yeah.
The
I'm not trying to do it on purpose.
The only thing that's really changed for me is like Leprechaun Returns. I think I had it below 2, but at this point, I think I'd rather watch Returns. I think it has a little bit more to offer, but other than that, this is still my list from like 3 years ago. whenever I ranked it on
Mhm.
my YouTube channel. So I think it's a
Okay.
a, a
Yeah.
franchise that is not going to change too much for me. I kind of know what I'm getting. But wow, we did this fairly quickly, under an
Yeah.
hour, under an hour.
I was gonna say, considering that we had like what, like 8 films to rank, or no,
Mhm.
7, 7. Actually, not bad. Is that 7 actually?
4,
6,
5,
7.
6, 7, 8, right?
Yeah. Okay. Um, I'm actually kind of surprised just because like like I thought we would kind of like speed through a lot of these, but like it's kind of fun dissecting certain ones and just like
Mhm.
talking about like why ones are like higher than other ones. Um, yeah. So,
Um,
uh, anyway.
man, I think I'm changing my mind on the list. I think we need to move 4 and Origins to Pot of
Oh
Gold.
yeah. Oh shit. We.
No,
Oh,
I'm,
you know
I'm
what?
I'm
Yeah. You
fucking
know
with
what?
you, man. I'm
Yeah. You
fucking
right. You
with you.
right. Yeah. Let's do this right here, and we'll put this one down here. Right. That's the worst one of all.
You gotta do it for the thumbnail. You gotta do it for the thumbnail.
Right. Right. I get it. I get it.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Uh,
I am curious though. Before we actually like leave off though, like, what is your favorite Leprechaun quote? That's the one too.
me or the people in the comments?
But just in general, yeah.
Uh,
I have to keep going back to like part 3. I love the like
yeah.
the untold riches. Rip them off and run them blind, or even like the your boobs are big, your butt is small, but still you're in for quite a fall. Like that shit is Leprechaun 3 has like some of the most funny quotable shit in the entire
Isn't
series. Like
Leprechaun 3 also the balls made of brass and sparks flew out of his ass?
yes, yes, it
Dude,
is.
like just anything Leprechaun 3. I mean, just literally take
There
any
once
fucking
was an
line.
old man of Madras whose balls were made of fine brass. So in stormy
Stormy
weather
weather
they both cling together, and sparks flow
flew
out
out
of
of
his
his
ass.
ass.
Like,
Dude, I
oh,
love it, man. That would be my favorite one, personally, because I love that one. But uh, damn,
next
Leprechaun.
time I'll take the elevator.
Yeah, I'll take the elevator. Dude, Leprechaun just has so many great quotes.
Yeah,
Say what you will about the film's quotable character. My favorite, like, obviously me and you both would say part 3. Pick any quote from part 3, but I really like the Lucky Charms quote at the end of the first film. If we're talking about a character other than the Leprechaun himself, I love that
yeah,
moment in
yeah.
the film. Which I'm so satisfied that we put that film in Lucky Charms just for that.
Actually, I was gonna say yeah, because it definitely does hit that criteria. So, yeah, Leprechaun 1
Oh,
is it's still good, but like I definitely would watch Leprechaun 3 over it.
another quote by a non-leprechaun character is
Mhm.
in the hood. Whenever the leprechaun walks up, he's like, "What's wrap?" He's like, "I'm gonna wrap this." I forgot what he said, around your neck, and he goes to hit him. And the leprechaun grabs it. Is like shocking the guy. But before that happens, he's like, "God damn, you are one ugly motherfucker." I love that dude.
I wonder if that was like a reference back to like Predator, like
Oh
Arnold
yeah.
Schwarzenegger is like you one ugly motherfucker.
Just that whole scene there, dude. Like, as much as, I like my Leprechaun to be serious, in the hood, those films do have some moments that just had me fucking dying of laughter.
Well,
So,
even the scene where he's like he was like, "What's this? It's weed. That's the bomb. The bomb?
the bomb after he smokes it.
That shit's the bomb." Ice-T in that movie, he was great. Yeah, he was just super goofy. I love it. But
Man, it makes me
anyway,
want to watch a Leprechaun film, which I don't know, may try to do. I have the first one playing right now on sci-fi,
okay.
but I guess we'll go ahead
Maybe a
and,
potential like watch along. I don't
yeah,
know.
that'd be
Hmm.
cool.
Cool,
I guess we'll go ahead and end it. I feel like we just breezed through it, at least, for me. But this
Yeah.
is the official tier list ranking from myself and Matt. This is
This
how
is
we.
objectively the best one. If you disagree, then like obviously you're wrong. Make sure you study this for the pop quiz later. Okay.
But yeah, if you're watching on the playback, let us know your favorite Leprechaun quote, and also let us know how you would rank these films. Love to hear. I love hearing other people's opinions, even
Yeah.
though ours is the correct opinion.
Right.
And don't say anything in the comments about that.
The right
Um,
opinion.
the right opinion, but
Yeah.
yeah, I've had a fun time. And I just want to say happy St. Patrick's Day to everybody. If you haven't, go watch yourself a Leprechaun film. Go
Yeah.
watch it right now. It's the only day of the year that you can do it.
Right. Right.
Not really, but I mean, it's the day you should watch a Leprechaun film.
Yeah, it's the most appropriate. Yeah, feel free to grab yourself like a Shamrock shake. Maybe get some baked potatoes. You know, that kind of thing.